is that?
A little bit more mellow.
I was going to say, I'm sitting here going.
Yeah, it's not the clubby beat though. It's a repop of it. It's a more acoustic and vocal. But anyway, this is Two Queers in a Truck. I was listening to it the other day, and I still had it up on my iTunes. And I'm gonna play that. I haven't played I Fly With You in a long time, but it wasn't the one or the international repop of it. But anyway, this is Two Queers in a Truck with Jenny Gunn and Christian Cano. Hey, Boo, how you doing?
Good, Boo. How are you?
Oh,
long time
we're circling along after an interesting coffee show, to say the least. But I did want to bring up a serious note before we start into the 6 topics. This week we acknowledged the 6th anniversary of the awful, heinous murder of the patrons of Pulse. And so 6 years ago, on June 12th, there was a absolute domestic terrorist attack and murdered 49 people in cold blood. And in this era of talking about gun sense laws and gun control, obviously, it's ironic that the Senate right now is debating this week. May have already taken it to a vote by the time that this show airs. And dear God, I hope that the Senate pulls their, or I'm going to say specifically the Republicans, but even the Democrats too, pulls their collective heads out of their ass and actually passes some measure of gun control just to put the brakes on this gun obsession, this gun fetish that has led to the deaths just a few weeks ago of 19 literally babies, children, young children, kids that were just barely starting life and having hopes and dreams. And, if the Senate doesn't pass something pretty soon, honestly, I think all 100 of them should go. They just fire them all. If they can't be adults in the room and make a mature fucking bipartisan decision and put some stops on this after we got 406 million guns sold, I don't think selling a few less guns is going to hurt anybody. But doing this free-for-all that we have right now, that no other Western democracy, high-income nation would ever tolerate, we're sitting there putting gas on the fire. And I don't get it. I will never get it. I didn't get it in 2016, other than the fact that it was 49 gay people and their allies and friends on Latin night got killed, and so it's no big deal because it's 49 queers. But you would think with almost 24 children in one of the most gun-happy wacko states, Texas, that somehow it's too much to ask, I guess, for them to be decent fucking human beings. And it rips my ass thinking about how stupid this is. And it's just beyond comprehension. And screw the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment doesn't mean what they say it means. And we're too fucking dumb to just stand up and say enough's enough, y'all. And either you pass the gun laws or we do a recall election of the whole Senate and we just sweep you all out. Like there has to come a time and ban the NRA from contacting our Senate. Like there should be one group should not hijack our safety for our entire country so that a bunch of gun billionaires and millionaires can make a lot of money off kids getting killed. Period. This shouldn't even be a discussion. This is the stupidest thing I've seen in my life. And I've seen a lot of stupid things. I did grow up in Texas. But anyway, I don't even want to
Well said, Jenny.
Yeah, it gives me the red ass every time I think about it. But anyway, we're going to go into some more interesting and funnier topics. Praying for Biden and hot planet with lots of carbon is no big deal. In fact, it tastes great, according to Marjorie Taylor Greene and Barbert's over there praying for Biden, but in a totally opposite way. This week, Wacko, Colorado Representative Bobbert was praying that Biden's life ends sooner rather than later. Super mighty white of her. And MTG went on to talk about climate change. I said it's actually healthy for the planet to be hotter. I guess because she thinks it's some kind of spa treatment or something like that. And then carbon is good for us. The breathing carbon, the CO2 and CO gases are no biggie. It's just, don't worry about that pesky little oxygen thing. Clearly, Sheila's lacked a little bit of oxygen going to her brain, obviously. I don't even, she went on the air to say this, and obviously nobody in her life loves her.
Yep. Loves her enough to say, shut up.
Dear God, somebody, even the wacko gay, not gay dude that's on her staff on Milo, you would think she would bring him along. And then when she starts to say something as stupid as she said this week, and I mean, it's all over Twitter, you think he would step on her foot and just say, you can't say that. You sound like extra dumb. There's the when I say I'm not gay, but I'm still living with my husband, that dumb. Like I'm not gay, but I still like dick. I mean, that just I'm not gay, but my husband is.
That's right.
I mean, not shocking that she not only does she have a gay staff, but literally has a gay but not gay dude. But
Jenny, that's why I wonder if this is an act.
No, I don't think anybody can act this stupid. I don't think
because it's so stupid. She's so stupid. Yeah,
she's just that stupid, and Bobbert is too. I mean, I'm not so sure that Bobbert didn't break the law in threatening the president. I'm not so sure that wouldn't be considered. I'm not so sure. The Secret Service is going at her door there in D.C. or she's back in her home state and go, kind of need to talk to you a little bit. It's illegal to threaten or wish harm or death onto the president. It's kind of a big deal, especially with you being a gun wacko, an homosexual, and your husband being a criminal and a sex pervert, like a convicted sex offender that showed his genitalia to minors in a bowling alley. In fact, his future wife was underage when she got a full frontal look at her future genius husband. It just these two are the twin harbingers of death and stupidity. They just I don't know. I don't believe in the apocalypse, but these two make me almost believe in that there could be legitimate things about the fake Book of Revelation that was written 400 years after Jesus' supposed death. It's just I did realize that I'm not so sure that we shouldn't have a sanity and IQ test before you can run for Congress. I mean,
I agree.
I mean,
it's, I know this sounds so wrong, but it's like when I listen to them and I watch them, I think, what trash, I mean, it's just like, I don't know what else to describe them. They are like stupid, but just mean, hateful trash.
It's just dumb. I mean, you're going on and go, what's good for you? Okay? Like we're all going to enjoy a spa day because it's so flaming hot that we can't even grow crops here anymore. It's like a Simpsons cartoon with that one kid with a bus burns in flames, and the one kid, I think his name's Ralphie or something, and he just sits there and giggles and laughs. It's like these two. He's also probably the dumbest kid on the show, the character of the show, other than Homer dude. But these two are like dumber than them. They're just mouth breathers pulling down a 6-figure paycheck to literally do nothing. Because I know MTG's not on any committees, thank God. And so literally all she can do is vote.
Yeah.
That's all she can do. She's not, they've stripped her of all responsibilities.
Yeah.
which is not a bad thing.
Well, that's what's so amazing is the people that live in that district. I know we say this all the time. The people that live in that. That's what's so crazy is that how would be so embarrassed.
Well, and
it's like this is the best we have to offer.
Her district is so gerrymandered. I think it's like plus 20 or plus 30. It's one of the most. I think it's the most Republican district, not only in Georgia but maybe in the South. And so she literally, Marcus Flowers has spent millions to raise more millions and has spent a tremendous amount of money, and he's still going to lose. There's no chance of flipping that seat. And I read a fascinating article, and then we'll segue to the next one because it's pretty funny. Some people in the peripheral of leadership of the Democratic Party and in politics and left-leaning politics are saying we're spending so much money on a district like District 14 in Georgia is a waste. And that we should put a cap on how much Marcus is spending and how much he's raising, because we should be shifting that money to a winnable seat in the Senate or the House, like the Senate race here in North Carolina.
Sure.
So we need to make sure that Sherry's got enough money to fight back with the Republicans to keep the record straight, because she has a phenomenal resume, and they're lying so much. They got forced to pull an ad this week.
Yeah.
It was so dishonest that even the press will say, you can't run that one. We got to pull it. Like it's so blatant and verifiable. You cannot run this. We are now allowed to run this. And they had to pull it. And so there's a lot of really close Democratic leaning races that we can win with the right financing. And we're running hard in some of these races because we want to flip the seat so bad, and I get it.
Yeah.
But there's certain people that are not going to lose. Rand Paul, he's not going to lose.
Yeah.
MTG, she could go take a crap in the middle of the House of Representatives floor and cluck like a chicken. She is not going to lose because she's done everything but that. She can admit that she planted bombs underneath the Capitol building. She's still going to win by 20 or 30 points because it's just so decidedly Republican. It's like 70-30 or 65-30. It's so ridiculously like it was a 5 or 10 point margin. Like it began with Abbott versus Beto. Beto's made up that ground, and now it's a push. They've done such a good job. But there's no push, so you can't make up a 25 point deficit, 30 point deficit. So I hope that we figure out some lessons from this cycle and apply that to 2024. It's probably something that we should talk about on the other show too, on wasting time and money. U-Haul, if you got them, or rent a racist.
I know what you're
looking. They got busted at a Pride event, all wearing this little creepy. They all were wearing the same uniform. It looked like a queer band ensemble gone wrong with little head coverings. And they were spending a lot of steamy, warm time together in the back because you like 20 of these dudes.
I know.
A couple of things come to mind when I saw these dudes pile up on out. One, they looked really cozy and comfortable with having a lot of man-on-man time in the back of that U-Haul. Two, it's probably we were going to go protest Pride. I actually think they all dressed alike so they could go enjoy family time.
Exactly. Be part of the parade.
I think they're really going to be the flaming baton crew. I'm not sure that terrorism comes to mind. I think they maybe went to a class on how to be down low gay by Madison or Lady Maddie Cawthorn. I don't know. What do you think? Have you seen pictures of these guys? Because I did it up on my Instagram and my Facebook. It's scary, but they're such big deuces that you know that they weren't going to pull anything. Obviously, they got caught way before. Like, I don't know if it got tipped off or it wasn't real obvious when they opened a big old U-Haul door.
Yeah.
And seeing a U-Haul near a Pride parade, and then all these dudes just come rolling out. They're like, okay, there's nothing weird about that, and they weren't wearing chains.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what, Jenny? I was actually very impressed. This happened in Idaho. And my understanding is Idaho is very ground central for white supremacist movement and so forth. So I was very impressed that the actual police busted this. You know, back in the 10 years ago, the police probably would have let him go. You know what I mean? Or, hey, they didn't really do anything. They have, the First Amendment's free speech, but they actually, they arrested him on planning to create a riot. And then some other, like some drug and some weapons charges after they arrested him. But it's a misdemeanor. And so I was very impressed that the police department took this seriously enough to actually stop him. And so if you want to look at maybe we've moved a little bit, I'm impressed that happened.
Well, if you look at I've got one video up that shows all the mug shots of, I don't even know how many, I think there's like 20 of them or so. And it's got their names.
It's a total of 30, I think.
But literally, I mean, one, I'm pretty sure they were all cousins. Two, I think they went straight from a family reunion to this thing. And three, I'm pretty sure a U-Haul truck skulking around the parade grounds, and there can't be that many people in that area. So when you have the many villages miss their idiots, and there was like 20 of these idiots running around in this tribe. It was probably pretty clunky. So yeah, I am impressed the police were proactive enough to stop them before anything really happened. Like the guy, they rolled up the deal, and there are these morons staring back like a bunch of kids going, "Oh crap, we got caught after dark." But there's more questions than answers. Like if you're going to try to blend into a pride event, you pick the most drab. Like they look like they should be working in an old school cafeteria or something like that, like a first cafeteria. Like these uniforms or whatever they supposedly were, like they weren't even cool looking. Like some kind of
like khaki pants, cargo pants, right?
They look like they should be scrubbing cars or something, or you want some fries with that? But they definitely didn't look like some kind of urban warfare cyber. Like their uniforms weren't even cool. Like at least Trump's cult members, when they go to these little rallies that they pay for to go to, unless they're a Proud Boy, now they're getting locked down. But they don't even have cool Proud Boy uniforms or even Trumper uniforms, like these unitards that they're wearing with the rainbow color. Like at least but these uniforms look like a Motel 6 barfed up a garage sale and they just threw these on.
Hey, what do you think? I mean, like the Proud Boys, like I don't know, with all the gay, to me, they're like gay clubs, all these.
Like gay clubs gone wrong.
Well, I mean, what do they think? I mean, some of them were from Texas. They were from like other states. And if I read the article right, or the one I read, said that they were gathering in a motel, like a Staybridge hotel or something, and they got ready and they were all going into the U-Haul, and someone saw them, called the police and said, "It looks like a little army is going in there." And so obviously, the police said that they were trying to create a riot at this. They wanted to be destructive and kind of create chaos and so forth. I mean, the fact that they are so obsessed with pride and gay stuff. I mean, they don't have anything. These were all young guys. They looked at the pictures, right? Like under 25, maybe. Don't you have like dates? Or maybe that was their date.
We can take a real quick break, and then I'm going to address that real quick before our third topic.
Okay. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for watching us on Two Queers in a Truck. Don't forget, you can watch us anytime at your leisure on our video podcast platforms like Facebook and YouTube. But you can also listen to us, either this show or any of our past shows, on our audio podcast platforms like Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and all of the other ones. So once again, thank you for watching Two Queers in a Truck. I hope you enjoy our show.
clearly, if they've all met at Staybridge, and most likely they all look kind of related, and they're from all different states. I think my family reunion theory, cousins kissing cousins, and as inbred as they look, and I mean, they've got the hills, especially one of them has got this weird facial expression and a spray tan on. He looks like a younger, dumber version of Trump. Like it's super creepy. Like most of mugshots are very, like, that all their sandwich baskets are short a couple bags of chips. Like and I think the only thing they were going to disrupt is probably the buffet at Staybridge. Personally, I think those uniforms they were wearing were just cover-ups for assless chaps and sparkly bikini outfits. I think their guns were probably like glitter guns. I think they were going to get their rocks off, but I don't think they were like. I think they may have originally started with, let's go show them a hard time or give them a hard time. I'm sorry, and but I'm pretty sure they were going to join the festivities. But anyway, the video footage of both the arrest and the mugshots are just unspeakably stupid and funny, and I'm glad they're going to go to jail instead of I don't know, going and getting married in Idaho. Anyway, the next subject is the January 6th spectacle on TV versus the tan suit of Obama. Which one's more controversial? The other day, our good friend Tucker Carlson was making a bigger deal of Obama's tan suit gate than the January 6th attack on the Capitol. He literally
still,
he said, something like, what Obama did is more newsworthy than an 18-month-old, barely a riot, wasn't that big of a deal, attack on the Capitol, and that it's old news. We should get over it by now. That it shouldn't have that much of a life. He agrees with Fox not covering it, like it's not even in the news. And it just is very bizarre. And now they're the only major news network that's not covering it.
They did today. They did Monday.
Oh, okay.
They did. They made a decision Monday to cover because they were only doing it on Fox Business, I think, and maybe some other streaming service they have. But they made a decision this on Monday morning to cover. I think because PBS decided to cover it too. Everybody was covering it, and their viewers wanted to watch it. Yeah. And so it was.
I mean, I subscribed to CBS Paramount streaming, and even the streaming.
That's how I was watching it. Yeah.
I watched it on CBS, and they covered it Thursday night and today. But that's how I watched it Thursday night. I didn't watch Monday's coverage, but I did watch Thursday night's opening coverage. And I guess Tucker's has got to this point where his ratings are so good, and he's got a certain fan base of mouth breathers, probably a lot like these people in Idaho, these cousin kissers, and so that is who makes up the current base of the Republican Party is ancestral groomers, and they don't seem to have an issue with skipping the January 6th deals, or maybe they're watching it on another network. But you would think with one of the top rated, if not the top rated show on cable TV, that he would be so outstep of reality that he just literally is just completely tone deaf. Like like it would be like him if this was back in the day during Watergate. It's just a break-in. It wasn't that big a deal. He didn't find anything. He knew Nixon was going to win.
But isn't
presidents do that all the time? Don't worry about it, Christian. Nixon, presidents always breaking the stuff. I mean, Lincoln was known for breaking into stuff. He was practically a cat burglar. It's that kind of reasoning, and it's just bizarre. But it's just
well,
no big deal.
I mean, it drives me crazy to think who actually takes Fox News seriously. And the only thing obviously a lot of people, or at least a lot of people they measure,
right.
So the only thing I can think of is I don't think people, because I know some people that used to watch on, I don't think they think they don't see it as news. They see it as entertainment. And they see it as entertainment, but they believe entertainment is news. So they are so warped with their view of things that it's because, I think, well, are you so stupid to believe this? I mean, because remember I tried to do it like one whole day. I was trying to do it a whole week, and I couldn't even last a day because it was so it's just not stuff that I would watch. It was like Inside Edition. That's what it was like. It was like Inside Edition all day.
But with roofies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, and kind of the topic number 4 is really a riff off this. So there is, maybe I remember, maybe I don't. Trump right now is they're saying he's almost like he's unhinged, that he doesn't have a check on reality. And it seems like they're trying to create this excuse, and especially at the time, but they say it's even getting worse now, that Trump just didn't really know what he was doing. They're almost trying to give him, forgive him for he did not know what he was doing type thing.
Yeah.
But like they're building an excuse, kind of like they did for Reagan, that Reagan, didn't remember and all that during Iran-Contra. They're almost acting like he was so distraught of losing that he completely checked out of the deal. So when he was up there on January 6th, and even now, he just is so devastated that he can't help
He's
America
playing the insanity. He's
half
the insanity plea.
half just a victim of circumstance, and he's just like, you can hear little tiny violins playing in the background, which I'm not buying. He was making up that there was going to be cheating in like the summer of 2020.
Yeah, before that.
I mean, you can go back and listen to the tapes, and clearly he was setting up, there's going to be mail fraud. I'm like, dude, the mail fraud is going to be your post office guy that you on fire was slowing down the mail on purpose.
So you didn't watch Monday mornings, or did you watch Monday mornings?
I did not.
Okay, but it was, to me, I hate to say it like this, it was even better than Thursday night, because all of the people that they talked to on the videos were all people who worked for Trump. So it wasn't the Democrats trying to say it. This is his own people, from Bill Barr to his campaign manager to like 6 or 7 people who openly said, and even Ivanka, they did Ivanka again, and Jared, and they even said, we told him we lost. And so and Bill Barr, who's now trying to come out like he's some hero, but he said that he turned to them as he was walking out the door and said, Mark Meadows, and he said, how long is he going to carry this on? And Mark Meadows said, we're working on it. And Kush, his son-in-law, said, we're trying to get to the next step. He's now sinking in. So they're all saying he's an idiot. If you watch Monday mornings, it was almost as though they were saying he's an idiot.
Right. Well, first of all, on that particular subject, they're wrong. I mean, we knew he was an idiot in 2016, and even before, we knew he was a racist and an idiot. So, like, we don't have to, like, that doesn't even need to be said. Yeah. I mean, we can say it, but we've always known he was an idiot. This dude, it's getting to the what can you prove that he did? Which we saw unfold, on live TV, that it's all completely recorded, because he said, we need to, do something about this. gathered everybody up on that particular day, and then said, it's right over there. You know, it is, when your cult leader / president tells you, hey, we need to do something about this, and then you just point, and they even made little T-shirts so that they could all have their little club, their little insurrection club / Stop the Steal. It's not real hard to figure out who led it. I mean, I've always said I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. I'm not a genius. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. Like, I'm not like Dr. B, like a brain doctor. But when you all buy matching T-shirts that said "Stop the Steal," it's kind of like the Bugs Bunny Roadrunner show. And you got Wild Coyote like getting this giant boulder and he's lifting it, and you know the Roadrunner's looking at it and going, "This dude's so stupid that he's going to drop that boulder on his head again, or fall off the cliff again." But he's going to telegraph everything so you can literally watch him do this. I mean, this thing was so pronounced that everybody in America knew they were gathering on that certification day. I knew it. It was in the news that all these spreadnecks and rednecks were flying there and driving there. And
that's really what they were. Yeah.
And we're going to go and gather. What could go wrong? You know, I mean, you know, too bad we didn't have the Idaho police there to
exactly
divert that crowd. I mean, obviously, maybe something good came out of January 6th. I don't know, but you know, I'm glad we're having the hearings. I absolutely agree with having the hearings and making sure as many Americans see the visual reason and hear the people testify, this person is involved, or this person's involved, or, you know, this is how many people are sitting in jail. This is how, like, I think everybody needs to see it play out, because I think some people actually believe the Fox narrative, or kind of thought, well, maybe Democrats are making a big deal.
This is
clearly
this is his own people saying it's not true.
Yeah.
So it's not like you and me saying that's not what happened. It's not, and they're going, oh, you just don't like Trump. These are the people that worked for him.
And I do believe that's why they're really working on trying to create a new narrative about him.
Yeah.
They've really been throwing this out in press in different places, and nobody's buying it. We do need to take our next break before we go on to topic number 5. We'll be right back.
Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for watching us on Two Queers in a Truck. Don't forget, you can watch us anytime at your leisure on our video podcast platforms like Facebook and YouTube. But you can also listen to us, either this show or any of our past shows, on our audio podcast platforms like Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and all of the other ones. So once again, thank you for watching Two Queers in a Truck. I hope you enjoy our show.
We're back. I think they're trying to sell like hell to keep him from going to jail. And I think they're trying to build some sympathy, but when clearly there was some testimony I know on Monday that was talking about, well, who's been pardoned, who's going to be pardoned, and all that kind of stuff. And when you have legislatures that are happen to be Republicans that were saying, well, I didn't ask to be pardoned, and then in the record, it showed that he communicated with the White House for a pardon in the middle of January, right before Trump got booted out, he got evicted. So there's a lot more that I'm sure that's coming out in these next weeks. It should be interesting. So speaking of detached from reality, a British reporter did a editorial about Tucker. This guy's name is Anthony Davis, and absolutely just completely shreds Tucker Carlson. And it's about 5 minutes long, and it's playing all over Twitter. And this guy literally just dissects everything that Tucker has said about January 6th and a lot of other things, and just goes, it's hard to believe that a guy that has the number one show on American cable TV is so completely detached from present reality. You know, that even people in Europe realize how dangerous it's frightening for them, because most of those countries are our allies, realizing how close we came to having a full-blown coup. be successful.
Yeah.
And that one of your leading American news shows is acting like he doesn't even exist. And he's like, he said he can't believe how irresponsible Fox is to even let this guy go back on the air. He said it wouldn't happen here in Great Britain. You wouldn't be able to do that for the BBC. Is that most countries would remove something like that, but they would have standards and not allow somebody to come on air and just lie. Just flat out lie.
But Jenny, this is one of the things that I don't understand is kind of like I said just a while ago. I don't think that the people that watch him, I don't think that they think that's news. I think they see him like they did Rush Limbaugh. He's just entertainment for them.
Well,
do you think we're the ones that take him too seriously?
No, I think we don't take him serious enough because January 6th proved that.
Yeah.
Uvalde proves that.
Yeah.
If anything, these cult-like leaders like Rush Limbaugh, like Tucker, that laugh about people dying of HIV, that encourage jackasses like Bobbert to get up and say, I'm going to pray for Biden to die. We actually have an active member of Congress that stood in front of, I guess, a church. I don't know where she was talking at, but it's recorded and broadcast everywhere that she's actively praying for Biden to die. And this whole group, this whole Fox News, Proud Boy, in the closet gay, wacko mentality is so disconnected from any kind of reality that I think it's bizarre to other countries that we've let it get this out of hand, that we haven't stepped in and said, okay, some of these people just need to be off the air, whether you want to call it cancel culture, reasonable standards, whatever. But at some point, because they don't represent anything that's defending anything, like, what would be the reason for Bobbert to say that? There's no civil rights being violated. She's not defending anybody. She's just going to be there saying, I'm praying that Biden dies. And when they're saying stuff, and then Tucker just acting like January 6th was, just a picnic gone wrong. Like they were out there on the, the mall there in the capital part of the deal, just, hey, we'll take in some Smithsonian, get a couple beverages, go listen to old Trump speak, and then, we'll grab the delegate ballots, from the states while we're at it, get a T-shirt at the Capitol building deal, maybe grab something from Pelosi's office and call it a day. It's like a picnic gone wrong is the way people were describing it from that side of the cult. And it's just bizarre that it's not even being compared, even though it's way worse than Watergate. They're like, well, yeah, Watergate was kind of bad, but going in the Capitol building and kicking around a few things, not that big of a deal. I know a couple cops died, but they have a dangerous job. It's not that big of a deal. We'll support them some way, but their family will get their pension or something. But it's kind of the way they're talking. Like it literally, I don't know how you could watch. And I can't remember that lady, the officer's name that testified Thursday night. I'm going blank on it.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
But her compelling story, and you listen to this, and then go on the air after that and act like, Yeah. And then in the next sentence, talk about how terrible Black Lives Matter is and how Blue Lives Matter.
Exactly.
Probably the same show. And you're just like, like, how do you get so disconnected? To me, I do agree to a certain point. I think people have gotten numb to the wackiness. No, where I agree with you is I think they've become so numb with the stupidity and the wackiness. I think a lot of them buy into it because it keeps their worldview, their narrow worldview intact. Is it somehow Trump's being macho by trying to take the presidency or something or stop the deal? He's being tough on those liberals, those crazy homosexuals, trying to take away everything and indoctrinate our kids and groom them, even though that's what we're doing. We're praying for Biden's death, so it's very bizarre. But our last subject is the drag queens win again. Here in Pride Month in two cities or two areas of North Carolina, drag queens were permitted to once again do story hours at local libraries and events. One was in Apex and one was in Union County. Of course, the mouth-breathing conservatives in those areas are still incensed, but there's not a damn thing they can do. Court rulings and different things allow them to still do it, and still, A, they were asked to do it. B, it was their First Amendment right to be able to do these story times. And
I don't understand the logic. What is the thinking behind stopping a parent from allowing their parent, like DeSantis wants to pass this thing where a parent that takes the kids to a drag thing it would be a child abuse.
Yeah,
he's trying to pass this legislation. How can you dictate what parents do?
So it's super bizarre.
Yeah,
that this supposed law and order party, rugged individualism, when somebody does a rugged individualism, but my version of rugged individualism doesn't line up with your rugged individualism, and I want to take my kids to the public library, and some dude dressed up as a woman gets up there and reads a book. Like, it's not like he's getting up there. The queens aren't getting up there and reading some gay porn book and going, talking about butt sex and handcuffs and stuff. They're getting up there and still reading kids' books. They're reading picture books, typically. They're short enough to be able to sit there for probably mostly 3-year-olds to about 8-year-olds. Because these queens are all painted up and they're gaudy looking and they're fully dressed and they're not. And so they essentially look like kids entertainers, like clowns. They're entertainers first and foremost. And they're in these super cute outfits. They're very colorful, which is going to hold the kids' attention. They're going to do funny voices. They're going to be the entertainers they are.
Yeah.
To me, what's the difference between a big old drag queen reading a kid's book, a Dr. Seuss book, even though I think the conservatives canceled Dr. Seuss, but let's say it's Dr. Seuss, reading Lorax, and then doing the Bible story time at the local church, and some pedophile priest saying, "Hey, come sit on my lap and I'll read you a story." And
Jenny, you said exactly what I was about to say. What we have to do is, I believe like an eye for an eye. I believe the only way to fight fire is you have to fight fire with fire.
Right.
And so I think these same people that are saying that parents should not be doing this, we have to somehow say, you're right. And I also believe that if you take your kids to church, that's child abuse.
Yeah.
Because you're indoctrinated. And so I do think that I wish that we had like Democrats on our side that were as crazy as they are. That would propose these things. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. But sometimes sometimes I wish that we would have someone stand up and say, I'm going to propose a bill that these people who take the kids to priests because they dress in dresses is worse than drag queens.
I think you could do it in a state that was really, really blue, to where you wouldn't have a chance of losing your seat.
Yeah.
It would be tough to do in North Carolina because it's such a purple state.
Okay.
And I'm talking about like, state level Congress and national Congress.
Yeah. Okay.
That's a hard fight that doesn't really have an answer. I maybe you could see a city of Charlotte Democrat doing that.
Yeah. No, that's right. Like someone like John Autry. Like John Autry's seat is like 70% Democrat, 30%. Right. He's never going to lose. Right. The way his seat is, it's like Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat. Someone like him, I wish who's in a very safe seat, who would do that just to show the stupidity of the other sides.
Yeah. I would love to see him put a bill up in the General Assembly.
It wouldn't pass, Carolina, but at least try. Yeah.
That it'll be child abuse if you take your kid to church, because 70% of pedophiles are pastors and priests.
Yeah.
which isn't too far off, but it's so that it's more dangerous to go to a church and drop your kid off at a church and let those groomers get a hold of somebody than go to a public library and sit there and watch a drag queen read a Dr. Seuss book. To me, there's no rape or incest or anything like that in a Dr. Seuss book, but there is in the Bible. It's stories of God nuking Sodom and Gomorrah. There's stories of violence, of people sacrificing their kids, of rape, of angel demon rape. You know, when Mary supposedly got impregnated by Jesus, it was non-consensual rape of a 14-year-old girl. It was promised to somebody already. like not only was she technically, if it was consensual, she was unfaithful to Joseph, and or was her fault by legal definition. Either way, it's a very problematic, story. Yet we read this to kids, and kids just go, "Oh, that seems kind of weird," but I'll just go with it because the church is supposed to be good. But if you modernly interpret that and had a drag queen read it in a modern story, take it out of the Bible and just put it in a fictional book, they'd be getting torches and pitchforks and running that drag queen out in town in her high heels. Like they'd be.
But don't you don't you think that'd also be a really good idea for drag queens to do like a drag queen reading, but just read the really bad parts of the Bible?
Oh yeah, change the names. Change the names of the characters and go. Yeah, it's Jenny's. Jenny's Fables or whatever, whatever the drag queen's name is. I just say we're just going to do this queer story time of ancient people, and blah blah blah. Jenny for the block got visited
or something.
By this dude by wings, and she was only 14. But it was the right thing to do, and he got her pregnant, and it just...
Our drag queen actually saying, and then kids, what happened was these Roman soldiers nailed Jesus, put nails in him. He was bleeding. They punched him with a spear and right here, and he was bleeding. And then, had blood going out. And then they made him carry his own cross, and then everyone lived happy and forever. I mean, the kids would be going like, oh, I mean, that's what has to.
This the absolute sheer terror of the Bible and the way it reads. And, as a kid, maybe I just questioned so much. Maybe I was so jaded. I think I was probably born jaded in a certain way. But I remember listening to these things, and because I went to Sunday school, I was forced to sit through all these sermons for 18 years of my life. And the older I got, the more I went, what a crock. What a crock. I know I'm being conned. I know that my parents are paying to be part of this social club. Yeah. Because the little plate in the Lutheran church, the little plate comes by, or at least the ones I grew up in. Yeah. Maybe they debit the checking account. I don't know. But back in the day, before electronic banking, you'd see the cash or then a lot of them went to these envelopes. So if you were a member, you got a members only envelope, and you stuffed whatever you wanted into the little envelopes, and then it just, to me, my mind was, this is just not only the story so fantastical they're not true, but just the bizarre mentality and people repeating and chanting things over and over again. Yeah. Some of the stuff in Latin. And I know damn well the hillbillies I went to church with did not speak Latin. They barely spoke English. And I'm going, I know more of what we're saying than they are. And I'm like 13, 14 years old, looking around going, these people are dumb. They're actually paying money every week to do this. I'm going, well, just give it to me. Like, I can go buy a car with this, so when I turn 16. I mean, that's what I was thinking. This is, so if there is a hell, I'm going to be packing one pieces for that little ride at the end. No wool sweaters for me. Or essentially the way Charlotte was today. Super hot. But I think about how they rail on drag queens right now. This has been a fight that's been going on for a while because some librarians have thought it's kind of cute to have drag queen story hour. Because when you think about any kind of entertainers, would you want some grizzled old rock and roller getting up there and reading books to kids? Or some funny young, because most drag queens are fairly young. Yeah. They're very animated. They're very playful. And they can do funny voices. A lot of them can do comedy. Why not put a funny, entertaining clown in front of somebody and just make kids laugh? They're kids. Yeah. They just see people in drag and just go, I think it's great. They don't care. But anyway, that is the end of our show. And I went on a rant there. I started with a rant and ended on a rant. We'll have to start calling this Jenny's big old damn rant. But just leave the drag queens alone. We got bigger fish to fry. And on that note, we are going to fly away, because I'm just going to use the same old song because I'm not talented enough to switch songs in mid-show. I hope everybody has a great week. Happy Pride Month once again. I will just go out with the butterfly version of I'll Fly With You.
Babu.
Babu. Hey, y'all, everyone. Thanks for watching. We got a little boring this way. It's a little bit more upbeat. We appreciate you tuning in every week on both of our shows. This is Two Queers in a Truck. Have a great week. Be safe out there.
Babu.
Babu. Drink your water. Hello, everybody. We got Two Queers in a Truck, another episode in the can. We appreciate y'all watching and tuning in every week. Hope that you tune into our podcast, both with Coffee and Pandosi and Two Queers in a Truck. We talked about all kinds of things this week, from white supremacy to Joe Biden calling somebody a son of a bitch to a whole bunch more. Thanks for tuning in, and y'all be safe.
Bye, boo-boo.